Well. You're listening to Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright then, I say words on point, straightforward. No jib and jab, everybody forward. Issues, facts and solution. Get it at Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright, one of the thing is a revolution. Get it on point with Professor Buitrón. Gloves Off, no nonsense issues, politics, community. A better men for Laredo. Gloves Off, a revolutionary show with everything that you need to know. With Professor Buitrón. Watch ya!
The following political paid advertisements do not reflect the political opinions of the program or its associates. Any political campaign or candidate who wishes to purchase advertising can do so. Advertising is open to all on behalf of Gloves Off.
Back at you in Gloves Off. I'm Professor Buitrón, and today we have a different story. This is not to belittle or to go against the Laredo Police Department. It's just to show some incident that happened to a concerned citizen, and he came forward to show his side of the story and what is going on. Because sometimes in this world that we live in, we have good people and we have bad. And we have great peace officers that wear badges. This is not against them. But every so often we have a couple that have sidetracked away and harmed some citizens. So this is that story. And today we're here with Mr. Rincon. How are we doing, Mr. Rincon?
Good. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming forward. You had an incident that occurred to you more or less when? What happened?
This was in April last year. Forgot the exact date.
That was 2019?
2019, yes. Yes, the incident started off, well, there's a backstory as to why I was doing what I was doing.
Okay. What happened? Can you kind of explain to us everything and what happened before? What's the backstory that you're trying to pretend?
The backstory is that we had been getting break-ins in our property. We have a couple properties near the river.
Okay.
Mostly that's equipment, weed eaters, blowers.
Small thefts.
Yeah, but couple break-ins as well to vehicles and to the building as well.
Okay.
They broke a building once and they got in, stole thousands in property.
Sure. But they're not vacant buildings, they're not abandoned or anything, right?
No, they're not.
Okay. And you were over there checking up on the business. Take us back to that day that the incident occurred. What happened?
That day it was quite late, around 12 midnight.
Okay.
Till 05 till 07. I call it patrolling my property.
Okay.
With my rifle and a flashlight. Just looking around to see anything unusual. We have a property across the street, the street that goes to the bad part, the Chacon bad part.
Okay.
I was checking a company truck we have there, since they had broken into weeks prior. So I was checking the truck when this police officer enters my property and starts asking me questions.
Okay. What questions were the ones that he was asking? What did he tell you? How was his response with him?
The first question he asked is, "Are you BP?" I said immediately. I said, "No. This is my property. I'm just checking around my property." And then he immediately asked for ID, which I responded, "I'm in my property. Why would I need an ID?" At that time, he called for backup and drew his weapon on the low ready position.
So you're telling me that he was already facing you with a weapon?
Yes.
He immediately didn't allow you to actually, you told him, why would I need an ID? And he didn't allow you to pull it out, he pulled out his weapon.
Exactly, yeah. So at that time, I realized that the safest option at that particular time was to lift my hands up and let him get my weapon.
Sure. And what else happened after that?
Well, after that, I was kind of mad because what the response they were doing inside my property.
Right.
They started recording, which he didn't like. When I started recording him, he approached me, grabbed my phone, pushed me back, and ripped the phone out of my hands, and then placed me in handcuffs because I was recording.
Did you tell him you were recording?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I had my phone not in his face. He was quite far. But then when he saw I was recording, he just approached me and pushed me back with my phone and ripped it off my hands. That's when they placed me in cuffs and they started pulling me up. I needed to cooperate and to stop resisting and stuff.
You see, there's several videos that are out. Those videos, they're not yours, or are they from your phone?
I have a couple of videos on my phone, yeah, that I personally took.
That you personally took.
Yeah.
Because there's some videos that I saw of this happening, and there is some abuse under the color of law.
Yeah.
What it looks like, you know, and a lot of people always say what happened before the video was shot, because I always show the aggravated part, you know, and I always tell people, did you comply? It seems that you were compliant. So there's a lot of differences that's going on, but this happens periodically, you know. Like I said, there's a lot of great officers out there, but there's a couple of bad apples.
There is.
And it's sad to see, but it's something that we all have to come up and start saying, you know what, let's start taking care of these bad apples. If they need psychological help, let's get them done before something does happen, if they need that. Because they are very pressured in their job, but I think that they need to get some help if they really need it, you know. I mean, we give our soldiers that go out and come back, and they do get treated.
Yeah.
Why can't our police get treated as well? They see a lot of stuff. So, can you tell me, how do you feel? Did you feel yourself being violated civilly? What happened?
Well, at the time, I felt, I would say, angry, disappointed at how they handled the situation. They made up, because there was no situation. I was on my property legally carrying my own weapon. So, I mean, they made everything up. They escalated instead of de-escalating, because that's what they're trying to de-escalate. The excuse is that I didn't want to cooperate, but legally I don't have to cooperate with their investigations. Yeah, I felt kind of mad, and then after that, just disappointed after even a couple friends on Facebook saying that they did everything they should have done. Everything was done correctly.
I always hear that from police officers. They always do something that's done correctly. They always protect it. It was always the other person's fault. Okay? And I want to tell you something here. We've, for a long time, I've taught martial arts here for going on 30 years now. Okay? Last 20 years here. I've had a lot of great students that are police officers, that wear badges, that are great law men and women. And they're great in society. A while ago, I stopped teaching police officers because I had a class that police officers would come, especially the Laredo police officers. One of them got into the habit of handcuffing somebody and beating them up when it was handcuffed. And they came back and I said, listen, I'm not teaching you all to go out there and do that, so find somewhere else to go. And they stopped. It took me years later to start bringing police back, or law enforcement back, and they started trickling back in. Okay? So it's very hard to see that because it hurts a person, you know, so what's going wrong with them? That's why I say if they need help, they have to go get help. Okay? Now, you were telling me earlier that you were hurt when they were pulling you. What happened? What injuries did you get? What?
Yeah, when they cuffed me, they use only, I'm a big person.
Mm-hmm.
They used one set of handcuffs and they started immediately pulling up as compliance. They use it to make the person comply. They were hurting me. All the time he was holding the cuffs up and I kept telling them, you're hurting my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't let me go after, I would say, 15 minutes probably, cuffed.
Were you on the floor?
I wasn't on the floor, but he was holding me the whole time, the cuffs up.
So you were standing?
Standing, yeah. I couldn't sleep that night because of the pain. So I went to the hospital and they told me I had a torn ligament.
On your shoulder?
On my shoulder.
Have you tried touching base with the police to do a internal affairs complaint on the officers?
Honestly, I haven't. The main reason is because, to be honest, fear of retaliation. That's basically the only reason why.
Right.
Retaliation. I know how they work, their tactics, their intimidation tactics and stuff. So that's the main reason why I didn't do anything immediately. And now I don't even carry as much like I used to because of the same reason. I fear that somebody knows me, they're just gonna want to shoot me or make up an excuse to harm me.
You know, Mr. Rincon, I hear that more and more by a lot of people here in Laredo. We have one of the top paid peace officers, policemen in the state of Texas. So we expect the best.
Exactly.
And this is something that needs to start coming back now, and retaliation, people fear the retaliation that happens with our badges. Retaliation that goes on towards our kids. You have stories of kids all of a sudden get stopped and it's a good kid, all of a sudden they find one seed of marijuana and they beat them up.
Yeah.
Those stories resonate through the streets here in Laredo. It's bad. But we have great peace officers, most beautiful first responders that you can ever imagine. But those bad seeds, and our city should be watching, our chief of police, city manager, and our council should be watching, and they should be eliminating those bad apples.
Yeah.
Regardless of who they are, they should not be there.
Mm-hmm.
See, the problem that happens here, Mr. Rincon, is you have one bad apple in one department, they make them resign and they go to another department. And I've spoken with several state representatives because some badges, good police officers have come, not only police, peace officers, I'm going to use a term, have come and said, we're afraid because this other one is doing this, but we don't want to say anything because they're going to retaliate against us.
Okay.
And they themselves are afraid.
Yeah.
You know, there's an old saying that goes, where evil strives is because good men do nothing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if you're a good peace officer and you're seeing something wrong, something has to be done. You have to stand up for the rest of society because you have pledged an oath.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And an oath is an oath.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, it's unfortunate that it happened to you. What have you done? Do you need any type of counseling? Do you need any type of help with this?
Not really. What I want is that for police officers, law enforcement officers to be accountable for their actions. So that's mostly what I want. If we break the law, we get punished, we get fined, we get cited, arrested. There's consequences for every action. When a police officer does wrong, they investigate themselves.
Sure.
So obviously nothing's gonna happen. I mean, everything stays within them. So.
You know, and we need to change that. And is there anything you'd like to tell people out there?
Not really. Just not really tell people what to do, but try to keep the government officials accountable. That's what I want. Just to try to keep them accountable. Record interactions with city officials, government officials. Cause it's our right. If they say we don't use our rights, we're gonna lose them. Use the First Amendment or Second Amendment. I mean, they're there for a reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, God forbid that we did not have any of those red flag laws because something else would have occurred.
Yeah.
And we're living in the state of Texas, and we have to protect that right. That we still have our Second Amendment, and we still have our red flag laws. You were acted that way. They treated you that way. It's unfair. God bless you. You're safe and everything else. But I want to say something here to the public, folks. When you get stopped by a police officer, comply. Be respectful. Be courteous. Do not start arguing with them. You don't know what they've gone through that day. They might have come back from another murder, or you do not know what's going on with their heads. Just comply, be courteous, and document everything that's happened. If you've been treated wrongfully, you can contact the Internal Affairs Department of each police station and do so. And to the good peace officers that are out there, and this is not to scrutinize you in any form or fashion, this is for you guys to wake up. Because sometimes you do not know that you're doing something wrong. And it might wake you up and say, you know what, let me get back to what I was focused for. Once more, Laredo, we have great peace officers, first responders, firemen that care for our community. But those that are doing good, we have to stop those that are doing bad everywhere. Until next time, peace.
The following political paid advertisements do not reflect the political opinions of the program or its associates. Any political campaign or candidate who wishes to purchase advertising can do so. Advertising is open to all on behalf of Gloves Off.